Welcome back to Bullets and Brass, folks. Today, hopefully this will be short. It is freezing cold out here, but I just didn't feel like shooting inside. So we're doing 270 Winchester, 30-06, and 308. And the main reason is it was suggested, and I am putting my hood up. Sorry, guys. If we're talking normal size game, they all work. Is there maybe something better for a particular animal in a particular location? Sure. But the answer might still be one of these. It just might also be something else. So what I did is I pulled the data to have numbers that are consistent from Hornady. These are all their ELDX precision hunter loads. And interestingly enough, 30-06 and 308 are the same bullet. It's just running at different velocities. So first, a little history. 30-06 and 270 come from the same place. Whether you consider the 30-06 and the 270 to derive from the 3003, or if the 270 really comes from the 30-06, it's basically academic. The differences are really minimal between the 30-06 and the 3003. And we're re-recording this because, well, the wind was really horrible. So anyway, on with the video. But you're still talking a real early round for smokeless powder, high-performance ammo. And it was considered a really fast round at the time. Really fast, and in fact, too fast for most of the bullets of the era. 30-06 gets away with it because the bullets are bigger. They're heavier, they're tougher. You don't get the same explosive effect as you do on a lighter bullet. Now, modern bullet design has mostly solved this. It isn't really a factor, but people were talking about huge chunks coming out the back of the animal, destroying the hide, destroying the meat on a 270. And, I mean, these days, not an issue unless you choose really poorly in your ammo. So, the 270 got a reputation in that regard, unfairly. It was a sign of the times, and 70s, 80s, bullet design kind of had caught up and moved on. Modern bullet design, you can make a bullet do whatever you want at whatever speed you want. Your only limitation is what's the actual depth of penetration at a given velocity. So, running these numbers, and keep in mind, the reason 308's in here really is to show how close it is to these other ones. 308 fits in a short action rifle, which means that either an AR-10 platform can use it or something can use those magazines. If you're not doing a magazine system, having the long action is really not a big deal. If you're trying to do a magazine system, a magazine for a long action is much bigger, much more of a pain, is a less reliable system. So you try to stick to the short action, which limits your length to just over a 308. I didn't give you all the numbers here. We're not going to do every little increment. Interestingly, notice that the 270 is doing pretty well. It's still holding in there really well, even though technically the BC is not as high, and the SD is basically equivalent on all these rounds. Interestingly, I got a laugh out of this. The SD on that 145 grain ELDX in the 270 is 270, 0.270. The BC was 0.536 versus 552 for the other two. So really, if you want a lighter recoiling 30-06, use a 270. It is noticeably lighter recoiling. You're not losing much of anything. With modern bullet design, I would argue that there's no downside. If you are trying to get into the smallest rifle possible, the most commonly available magazine system possible, you're looking to do this without spending a ton of money, the 308 is going to be a cheaper, easier system to do without costing you a whole lot in terms of power. If you need power, if you are looking for something that can reach out and touch with authority, 30-06, or go bigger, go 300 Win Mag, go a 375, anything like that. You've got to step it up. 30-06 is not that dramatic power difference over these other two that we tend to think of it as. Now, that isn't to say you can't hand load hotter ammo. I took basic factory loads. These are not hot loads. If you push 30-06 in a modern action that is properly set up, properly built, yeah, you can exceed what you can do in the other 2 rounds. You can really get that up there. However, you can do the same thing with a 300 Win Mag, and you can scale down the 300 Win Mag. So once you're in that long action, I'm not sure that you're not better off with a 300 Win Mag unless you're just talking cost of ammo. If you go to the store and you want to buy some practice ammo, 30-06 is definitely going to be cheaper there. Otherwise, 308 wins for cost of ammo. 270 is expensive. 30-06 isn't particularly cheap. Obviously, if I threw in 300 Win Mag, very expensive ammo. Up to you guys. I think this one is the closest of all the comparisons I've done. All the other comparisons had a clear, at some point, somebody was really winning and somebody was really losing. I mean, I threw the 308 in here just to demonstrate how close it is. But you can't even really say it's losing. It is the bottom run. It is, the lowest of the 3. But it's still in the same ballpark. It's still more than sufficient for most of what you'd be hunting. If you're hunting something bigger at longer range, I really think that none of these are the right round. You want to go even further, which I've said it before. I'll probably edit that out. So, take care. Have fun. Stay safe, y'all. I'm going to go inside and get some hot chocolate. Say hi.